Rightio, let's look even further forward into the year because there wasn't much else to talk about with only the one Group 1 from Queensland. So we're going to chime in and have a little early dabble on some Tab Everest markets and also the Tab Kosciuszko. I mean, these markets pretty much go up as soon as the runners cross the line in the previous year's edition, if that makes sense. So they're always there to have a look at. Obviously becomes more entertaining as with the Everest, at least, as more slots start to get filled. And then as you watch country cups and whatnot throughout the year that aren't over a staying trip, those 1,400-metre ones, you can start to get a guide on them. Well, who's going to be running well, possibly in a Kosciuszko? So let's start with the Everest boys and Nature Strip to return after its England sojourn and win the Everest is a $4 chance. Marzu at $7. We touched about it a few weeks ago, getting locked in for 2 years. Classique Legend is without a slot, but that won't be for long, at $9. Eduardo's at $9 as well. Lost and Running 11. And then Paul Lele at 13. Maravi at 15. I love to see it in the market. Masked Crusaders also at $15 as well. Gano, what's your little thought on the Everest so far?
Mate, the fair dinkum department, you boys know I'm a big fan of Marzu, but $7, fair dinkum. Give yourselves an uppercut. If you're taking the $7, you have far too much money. You've lost the plot. Fair dinkum. Not even Dino would take the $7, and he's got plenty. Nature Strip $4 for mine. Here's an angle here. I reckon if it goes over the UK, wins, which I think it will. That won't be 4. That'll be 3. And it'll probably stay around 3. It's the best horse of the race. As long as it's still going just as well, it wins again. Really don't have much else to add other than if I had to take an all-in play, at the moment, a horse I'm probably really keen on seeing come back is Lost and Running. I didn't want to borrow it last year, but geez, it shocks. Running 4th, that was quite impressive. So Lost and Running as probably a horse to watch, not necessarily an all-in play. Going through there might be forgive me if I'm wrong, here's a Campanelle. Is that the English horse that's lining up against Nature Strip? Potentially. I've never heard of it before. Help me out here. Golden Power it might have been, sorry. About 26 bucks. So there's one of them anyway. Keep an eye on it, punters. There's one of them meant to be lining up that's meant to be pretty sharp coming up against Nature Strip. If it can manage to turn the tables out, sure, it was a Coolmore horse. I might send it over. So I will do the research, and by the time Dino's finished, I'll hit you back with what horse that is.
Yeah, thanks for that. Circle got nowhere. Interesting market, fellas. I think there's holes to pick in this. Nature Strip $4. That's poison for a horse to come back from an overseas trip. Like dead set, good luck. I'm not sure you can, especially from a UK overseas trip. It's not like a
flying first class, mate.
Horses that travel, they just don't come back, Gunny. They need a spell. They need something else. So $4 poison. Marzu $8 is poison as well. I think there's big holes to punch in this. On paper, it doesn't look like a strong field thus far. So I think we could see a big 3-year-old year, which is interesting. So if we see a couple come back or some nice 2-year-olds in the next couple of weeks who can furnish into that 3-year-old, I think they're going to be good plays. The one I want to identify is Lost and Running. I think we all had question marks last year, but they've figured the horse out now. He needs gross racing to be able to get his weight under control and race well. He was dynamic in the autumn, winning first up, wet or dry, doesn't matter. And he runs a strong 1,200 out, tactical speed. He started favourite for the Lightning, was it? And then put up with issue when Rockin' Horse was on the inside. So I think he brings all the best form lines to this race. And $11, he'll start single figures, no doubt. But for mine, it looks a bit of a lackluster addition thus far, unless we get some 3-year-olds to really come out. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on Marabi, Louis.
Yeah, look, I'll start off by echoing your sentiments on Nature Strip. That's a huge day to go over there, win, come back, win this. Like, you're right, Gunnar, it's the best horse in the race and probably the best sprinter that we have, but that's a big effort to come back. What I will say is I would love to see more international nominations in this race. It's the richest sprint race on turf, for God's sake. How are we not getting people, good horses, UK, Ireland, England, wherever it may be?
Louis, sorry, mate, I have found out. Sorry, breaking news. Golden Powell is the Coolmore horse. There you go, mate.
Rightio. And what about Campanelle? I think it's over there as well.
Oh, let me leave that with you, son.
Yeah. So, look, there's 2 off the bat, right? But what chance do they actually have coming over here? I would love a trainer, a UK trainer, to come out and go, yeah, we're targeting the Everest. We want to win, the biggest prize money that there is available for 1,200 meter sprinters on turf. Like, I don't know. I don't know why that we're just not getting UK nominations I don't know. Look, maybe that's one to discuss a bit later on when we can sit down and have a think about it. Because I remember back when it started, a few, not that they even maybe made it out here, but they were specking that, this might come out and this might come to Australia, yada, yada. But yeah, I don't know. Look, it is.
You may lay with the slot holders though, right? Like the slot holders are probably, stuff at their coin. That's the good thing with Cornwall. Hopefully they have a good crack this year. Now, boys, I'll tell you what, I've got something for you. Miss Andretti, winner of the, what was it? Something over there, the King's Stand. Failed in the Jubilee next start, came back and went win. Something.
I'm just going off vibe, Gannon. You know that. I'm a vibe operator. I don't like stats.
Black Caviar. In fairness to Black Caviar, he did come back the following year. Win, obviously. But I agree with your point. It is valid, but there are examples of it. Miss Andretti was probably the one, came back on the 27th of October and won. So it is possible. The boys are spot on. Absolutely spot on.
It's probably even more so for an on-pace horse, though. You've got to be dead set to the millimetre to be able to withstand that pressure up front and kick away. Maybe a back marker can cruise out and have one run, but yeah, for mine.
Just quickly, if you put a gun to my head and said have a bet in the Everest market right now, because you both threw a spec in there, I'd back Amelia's Jewel, who I think is really, really exciting. I hope someone snaps her up. It'd be great to see Western Australian horse come over and contest it with the best, and Morabi, just because big fan, and why not $15? I'll take that. But yeah. Still a lot to learn about this Everest market, and hopefully some exciting announcements over the next few months. What about the Kosciuszko? Let's have a quick look at that. This is obviously a touch harder. Art Cadeau on front page at $6 are equal favourites on the tab all in. Another one and Far Too Easy at 11. Mo's Crown at 13 and Commando Hunt is $15 with Edit Fender, Handle the Truth and Irish Songs. If you had to pick one straight off the bat here, Dino, which would it be?
I think Commando Hunt represents a bit of value early. He was so good in the country championships final behind another one, sustained a big run, big turn of foot, wet or dry, doesn't matter for that horse. Another one's half his price. So I think early Commando Hunt, it's an interesting race. We've just got the stalwarts still up on top of the page, Arcaday front page, another one, the typical horses are still kicking around. So this race is a big inform, who's in form leading into it, who's had the right prep. So it's probably the trickier of the two to line up. Gannon, you looked excited when we mentioned Kosciuszko.
Boys, just scroll down to Louis. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of that market for me, son. Keep going. What do you got? What do you see?
There must be a typo because it should say 1,000 to 1 and not 100 to 1, shouldn't it?
Well in sight, $101. Look, fair dinkum, I tell you what, punters. Where's the William Farrer? They win about 400. There's only 12 tickets. They get 44 of them. If you're listening, just give Mitch a call, lock her in. We'll get her set. She's ready to go. She'll be lining up. She'll be competitive. So pumped, boys. So pumped. I tell you what, though, I'm with Dino. Commando Hunt. Oh, jeez. Should have won the, was it the country championships, Dino? Was that the race?
Pretty sure that was the one, yes.
Should have won. Still don't know how it didn't win. But having a look through some of these horses, and I think it's probably worth noting, front page was super. Beating Nemeth, and then failed down in a straight 6 down at Flemington. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Yeah. But then Nemeth came out and absolutely spanked him on a Saturday. So that form's pretty good. But the difference is Nemeth is $26, front page is $6. So there's something there worth having a look at. There was 4 lengths between them, and that race was probably run a little bit different to what the Cosy will be run. Edit's a horse that's really offered everything, promised the world, probably delivered an Atlas at this stage, but still has plenty of potential. So, boys, at this stage, looks a cracking race, but my heart says well in sight, and I have a few bucks in it. Louis, anything for us?
Yeah, mate. If it wins, I'll tell you right now, if it wins, I'll be coming and fighting wherever you are and wherever you're going, because it'll be one of the great nights of all time. I agree with Dino. It's how would you pick one here right now? It's all about who's in form and who's got the best prep leading in. So it's good to see a market and see kind of how it's shaping, but I don't really have any need to back one at the moment. I got
it for you. If you had a slot, Lewis Willoughby slot, who are you choosing?
Tap and Run, because I liked it in the qualifier to the country championships. I thought it was a bit lackluster in the country championships, but I didn't really review that meeting. I don't know what really happened there. I kind of just left it go by the wayside. I like its racing style, and I think it would suit the Kosciuszko. So, yeah, Tap and Run if you had a gun to my head.
Dino, who's taking the barrier attendance slot?
Commando Hunt.
Outstanding. And I'll stick strong with Well in Sight. Absolutely, stick strong. We'll be home. We'll be there. We'll be cheering. Now, I'll tell you what, though, there's an interesting one here, boys. Just as, off the top of my head here, if you were choosing a horse and you've got your slot, right, is it something where you kind of think, right, I'm going to go with Beery because he's got 4 horses. He's got Sunrise and Ruby. He's got Nemeth. He's got Well in Sight. Might be a couple of others. Or, you're going to go with a stable that might have a Kavanagh stable. Some of them might have 3 or 4 horses, or you're just going one out and risking the opportunity, the chance that chance might get injured, and then you kind of stuck in no man's land. What are your thoughts there?
I'll just pick the best horse gunner that's going to win the race. Keep it simple.
Love it. Louis, anything?
Yeah, I'm not backing a trainer to win the race. I'm backing a horse to win the race. I get what you're saying, but I'm not going to Mitch Beer and saying, a few weeks before the race, I'll just take whatever of yours is doing best. That's in what world is that going to happen? So no, just the best horse for mine.
You boys remember what happened to Zaki Cox Plate Day? Fair income. These things happen in racing, boys. Come on, you've got to be ready. You've got to be prepared. You got to say, fail to prepare to fail. All right, boys, good stuff. There's a little look at the Kosciuszko and the Everest. Hang on, we've got Wednesday best bets coming up. We'll catch you in a minute.